Hey, beautiful ones, my lovely goddess. You are um, experiencing this big question of why can't you make decisions? And um, there are a lot of women who have a really hard time making decisions, and it all stems from that feeling of you're not allowed to know, and and there's this block to being able to even know what you want. And so, my name is Jenny Jo Allen. I am a clairvoyant energy healer, and I am also a women's empowerment leader. I specialize in helping women uncover invisible, ancient trauma that is either from past lives, from our ancestral, genetic, inherited past, or also from that collective consciousness of the divine feminine that we tap into and feel that collective oppression of our feminine intelligence. A big part of our feminine intelligence is our intuitive abilities. They call it women's intuition for a reason. We are naturally attuned to intuitive frequencies. And even though I was born psychic, I definitely believe that we all have the ability to increase our psychic abilities and to really be able to fine tune our intuition and get clear messages. And that is a big part of being able to make decisions, is knowing what our sort of peripheral intuition is telling us. Some people call it their gut instinct. um, in my opinion, there's a big difference between going with your gut instinct and having really refined intuition to where you're receiving the messages that are actually going to serve your soul self, rather than those gut instincts that may be based in sort of old beliefs that are based in fears, or like I was talking about with the collective feminine trauma, or past life trauma. Like sometimes that kind of energy gets really bogged down in our energy field. And so the gut instinct can be really influenced by those traumas that are still sort of in the background, kind of controlling how we think, what we feel, what decisions we make, what kind of relationships we're in. Those kinds of things can really direct our whole lives if they are running in the background without us being able to check them and redirect those messages. So that is what I really specialize in, is determining exactly what it is that's going on in my client's energy field, in their light body, which is connected to the soul self. It's how I help them uncover the kinds of influences that are just totally invisible. They're in the background. We don't even realize that they're there, but they do run the show. There are a couple different ways that I know this. One of them is, this is slightly different, but it's along the same lines. When I was in my early 20s, I uncovered a buried memory of when I was molested as an 8-year-old. And so I uncovered that memory. It took maybe like, I don't know, 8 months, over a period of 8 months. At first, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm totally making that up. And then over a period of time, more and more parts of that memory came back until I uncovered the entire thing. And I was like, yeah, no, I did not make that up. There's no way that I could have made that up. There were so many details of, like extra stuff that had happened. Like I put together all these different things. My family was on a vacation in Baja. And so, there are a bunch of different parts to it. And I was molested by a stranger. Um, anyway, when I realized that, when I uncovered that memory, I was like, "Oh, okay, well, that happened." What I didn't understand is that it was playing in the background. It had been, informing me through fear and the leftover energies of trauma, who to choose for relationships, how to behave in those relationships. The way that I got away from my molester was that I ran, and I had never run away from anybody in my life. I'd never had a reason to, but that set a pattern, and I didn't realize it until after my second divorce when I went and I had some energy healing because I was like, "Ah, that's it. Something's wrong with me. I need to figure this out." I went and that was what got uncovered was, and in that session, I was like, "Oh my gosh," and I could see all the ways in which that buried invisible memory, even though I had uncovered it and I was aware of it, I still was being controlled by it because I hadn't done the releasing. I hadn't done the actual work to let that go. And one of my favorite sayings is, if you knew how to let it go, you would have done it already. Of course, we don't want to hang on to all this old crap. It's just, when it's embedded in our energy, in our emotions, in our brain loops, it's really hard to figure out how to let that go. And it can take a really long time. So that's one of the things that I do in sessions is we find where these different invisible traumas are rooted in the energy, in the light body, in the emotional body, sometimes, in the mind loops. And we gently pull all of that out. And always my work is, I have really high ethics because of some stuff that has happened to me with other practitioners that was totally unsafe. So I have really high ethics about being completely permission based. We co-create the healing process. It's not me doing it to you. It's more of a, let's see what's going on here. I will tell you everything that I'm seeing. We can decide together how to move through this. And always, your guides, angels, beings of light, and helpers are there to help guide the session and bring forward information that is about you, because that's what the session is all about. So, if any of that sounds interesting to you, if you want to learn more about how you can really shift out of a state of confusion and start making super powerful decisions that feel really good and totally in alignment with your soul purpose, if you even want to find out how to uncover your soul purpose, the link to schedule a free connection call with me is right there in the description. Go ahead and click on that, and I will get on the phone with you. If you have any other questions about your life, like, you know, you want a psychic reading, something like that, that's all in there. Go ahead and click on that link, and I will talk to you super soon. I am so glad that you came and joined with me today, and have a really blessed week.